All right, what's going on, everyone? It is Josh here, and welcome to the video. Here is another vlog in my preparations for Operation Wolverine Walk, which, if you haven't heard what that is yet, I am getting ready to walk 1,200 miles through the state of Michigan in order to raise money for a nonprofit that I support called American Veterans Archaeological Recovery, or AVAR. And they're an amazing organization. They take veterans out into the field to do field archaeology, and it's called rehabilitation archaeology is what they do. So really great opportunity for veterans. They get to connect with other veterans. They get a new mission to preserve cultural heritage, and it's a way to set them up for success following their dig activities. And so that's what I'm going to be doing later on this summer in mid-August. I'm going to be walking the length of Michigan. I'm going to be following the North Country Scenic Trail. And the planning that I'm doing, logistically speaking, actually getting out there on the trail and executing this, there's a couple of ways I'm going about it. And I wanted to talk with you all about that today because I feel like there is correlations with the planning that I'm doing for this expedition and just how we plan for many other things throughout life. And I noticed that when it comes to planning, there is a little bit of a dichotomy that I see, not only just with myself, how I've gone about planning other things in my life, as well as, of course, this expedition, but what I've tended to observe from others as well. There's certainly a dichotomy here. On one side, sometimes we get like really loose with planning, or we may even fail to plan anything at all. And when it comes to the execution of the actual thing, the task or whatever else it is that we want to do, things are really sloppy and things don't really get done very effectively with the execution of that task. However, on the other side, if we're very rigid with our planning, then once one thing goes wrong or things don't go according to plan, everything else just sort of falls apart. So I'm trying to err somewhere in the middle, because again, I've seen what happened when I have done both sides with planning in the past, like especially with some of my travels and adventures. I remember one time I traveled to a city and had done no planning whatsoever, and I found myself in some rather precarious situations. I had wandered into a bad area, and I really had to keep my head on a swivel to kind of get myself out of there. And had I just done a little bit more planning, I probably would have known to avoid that area and just kind of stay in a little bit more of a safer place, and I wouldn't have put myself into that potentially sticky situation. So, but at the same time though, I've also planned trips where I was so rigid. I planned time slots in a full detailed itinerary, saying I'm going to be here at this time from that time, and then I'm going to go from there to that time to that time. And once that whole plan kind of fell apart, I just crumpled that itinerary up and I just tossed it away. So kind of meeting in a little bit of a middle where, again, I don't want to be too loose with my planning, and I don't want to be too rigid with my planning, but I want to be flexible. And specifically when it comes to planning the route for this expedition, is that I know pretty much the direction that I'm going. This is a well-established trail. It's a North Country trail, so I know exactly where the trail is going to be following. So I don't need to go too in-depth on actually planning out every single nitty-gritty little detail. But at the same time, I do want to have some familiarity of what I'm going to be up against when I'm on the trail. And so I am looking over maps. I want to see where maybe some good potential water sources are. I want to look for some good camping locations, and obviously I want to know where the cities are located in accordance with the trail. So if I need to do resupplies, or if I want like a couple of nights off in a hotel to do some rest and recovery, I need to know where all those things are. However, if I were to go really in depth and say, okay, on this day I want to start here and I want to be at this place by that date and everything along those lines, or if I wanted to finish this whole expedition by a certain deadline too, once one of those things goes wrong, where I don't stick with like such a detailed itinerary, the whole plan is just going to go out the window. and things are going to get chaotic. I already know. You know, Mike Tyson once said that everyone has a plan going into the ring until they get punched in the face. And I think I might be paraphrasing that a little bit, but I think that really goes along well with how I'm planning for this expedition. And again, that just goes that just correlates so well with so many other things in life too that we may have to plan for. So really what I wanted to share with this video is, you know, don't be so rigid with your planning. Again, if like anything that's too rigid, once a little bit of pressure gets applied to it, it's going to snap. But then if you're too loose with your planning, and then again, once the pressure is applied, it's just, you're going to be all over the place and it's just going to be chaotic. But if you're somewhere in the middle where you can bend a little bit, or as like Bruce Lee brought up the analogy with bamboo, is that bamboo is able to bend with the wind and still stay stable and strong. So yeah, so try to see if you can find somewhere in the middle of this dichotomy, and I think that's going to serve you well with whatever it is that you may want to plan throughout your life, and also to help you better execute that plan as well. So just something I want to share with you all really quick, and I'm also wanting to test out this director's view just a little bit more and try the whole split screen feature. I really think this is kind of cool because you can see at the top, that's what my point of view is. And then of course you can see me talking. So let me know what y'all think of this format. And then this is certainly something I think would be kind of cool once I'm actually out on the trail to showcase for you all. And again, thank you very much for tuning in today. If you're ready to make a donation, that which is certainly something that I'd like to ask of. I mean, it's always difficult to ask for these sort of things, but that is what I'm doing this expedition for. It is to raise money for a nonprofit that I support, and I also want to be of service to help my fellow veterans. So if you're ready to make a donation today, please head over to gofundme.com/Wolverine Walk, and you can leave a donation there. I've already kind of got a start on that and made a donation myself. And if you'd like more information about this expedition, you can head to allaroundadventure.com/Wolverine Walk and read a little bit more about it. So, all right, thank you all for tuning in today. I will see you in the next video, and have an awesome rest of the week.